third classical guitar retreat took place in July of 2011 on the island of Cumbrae in the fabulous setting of the Cathedral of the Isles. The Cathedral has hosted the guitar retreat each year since 2009, and again the island and the Cathedral itself both played their part in making this third retreat a huge success. The CJR concert series gets off to a really big bang with the faculty concert on the first night. This concert's more intended just for the students and participants on the course, but it's a chance for them to see all the tutors collaborate and play together. So there were quartet performances given by Peter Stewart, Yvonne Ziener and Alan Neve and myself, all coming together and playing music as a quartet on the opening night. Duo performances by myself and Alan Neve. Also in that concert there was the first world premiere of the CJR concert series, in which I performed a piece just written from me by Peter Stewart, entitled In Dance She Dreams. So that was wonderful to use the Cathedral and the special retreat audience to premiere that new work. There's always an element of chamber music at the classical guitar retreat, and 2011 is the 10th anniversary of my flute and guitar duo with the Irish flautist Aisling Agnew. So Aisling was on hand during the whole course to coach various flute and guitar ensembles, working all different styles of music and different levels with different groups of players throughout the whole retreat.
Two things we could do a bit better on that on that scale. When we do the E minor at the start of the second line, same thing, off, so we get a nice articulation there, okay?
The Friday evening concert was given by the German guitarist Yvonne Ziener and was devoted mostly to contemporary music. Yvonne was a fresh addition to the CGR teaching team, and her enthusiasm for contemporary music came through very much in her concert. Yvonne's concert actually featured the second world premiere of the concert series, a piece entitled Don't Flinch by the Edinburgh-based composer Michael Edwards. This piece was for guitar and tape, so with electronics, and this was a whole concert of music that's rarely heard in the Cathedral of the Isles, and also it's a fantastic opportunity to expose the retreat audience to this new and fresh music. Running through the whole retreat is Guitar Orchestra, which is run by Peter Stewart, and that involves every single player on the course, every single guitarist, no matter what level, all coming together and playing large-scale works for guitar orchestra. Peter Stewart has actually been composing pieces each year for the CGR Orchestra, so every time they're working on new music which has often never been played before, and often the first time it's performed in a student concert is again its premiere. Peter's been building a suite that depicts the life and times of the island of Cumbrae. We have a piece called The Elands, which has been with the orchestra for a few years now, which depicts two little islands in the bay. And then this year was the Fintry Peddler, which depicts a cycle ride along the island and has all sorts of moments where the music starts to freewheel as you go down the hills, and other moments where you're pedalling hard to get up some of the hills on the island. So each year the piece is themed about the island, and as people explore the countryside and even the cathedral grounds and venture further out into the town of Millport, they start to see the music that they're playing together as a unit in the orchestra is saying something about the environment that they're in for the time that they're with us in the Cathedral of the Isles. Saturday, Aisling and I gave a flute and guitar recital, which included works from the Baroque all the way through to the most contemporary works that we've had written for our ensemble. Another composer we had in residence at the retreat was the Maltese composer Veronique Vella, and she had literally just written a commission that Aisling and I asked of her, which was the piece Bidla, which means change in Maltese. And this piece was first performed again at the CGI, another world premiere, on the Saturday to a packed audience. even with the relatively young history of the classical guitar tree, the standard of guest artists has always been incredibly high, right back from the very beginning of the course with Amanda Cook, and last year, of course, we had the return to Scotland of David Russell. So this year it was my great pleasure to invite the Croatian virtuoso guitarist Ana Vidovic to give her debut performance in Scotland in the wonderful setting of the Cathedral of the Owls. Ana gave fantastic teaching throughout the day in a series of public and private masterclasses. The private masterclasses were a much more informal affair where students could ask questions of her, and there was a lot of interjection and people played pieces to her in a much more relaxed and less pressured situation. On the Saturday evening though, it came the turn of the more advanced and more confident students to perform in the cathedral on the same stage as all the CGR concerts take place, with a public invited audience. And then Ana would put them through their paces in a little bit more of a rigorous manner. Her teaching was really insightful, and we were all left with so many tips and ideas. There's always a great buzz at break times in the cathedral because the cloisters area is set up with a fantastic array of different guitars. The Scottish guitar dealer David Kinnear from DK Guitars, he comes out and he shows off guitars from all over the world.
The roses are gorgeous. So this is all marquetry, isn't it?
We're here at the CGR with Eric Thomas, one of the main students. What's great about the CGR, Eric?
Well, there's a lot of things that are great about the CGR, like the teachers, how small it is, and how much time the teachers are given. Like Anna Vidovic yesterday gave masterclasses the whole day and talked to everyone, and it's really personal and intimate. And the cathedral's brilliant as well. It's pretty much the perfect place for a classical guitar retreat. Really, it's pretty awesome.
This year saw the return of the English luthier James Lister, who gave a talk on playability and many of the things that guitarists can do to tweak their action or make their guitar more playable or easier for them to play. So a lot of guitar players found that fascinating because, of course, they had just purchased their guitars and thought that they were all set up and ready to go. But I could see people by the end of the course tweaking things a little bit and making subtle adjustments to make things easier for themselves. For the 2012 retreat, I'm delighted to welcome the Polish guitarist Marcin Dyla. Marcin is one of the leading guitarists of his generation and a performer of great musical insight and virtuosity. Again, for the classical guitar retreat students and for the cathedral audience, this will be an amazing opportunity to be up close and witness such a fantastic concert by one of the classical guitar's leading young players. For the coming weeks, the Classical Guitar Retreat website will be getting updated, so please check back and have a look at the very international teaching team and concert programme that's been put together for the 2012 CGR. And make sure to not delay in booking because the spaces at the cathedral are very limited, and this does become one of the most exclusive classical guitar events of the summer. So I hope to see you next year in July 2012 at the 4th Classical Guitar Retreat.
Here at the Classical Guitar Retreat, we like to give the teachers by far the most comfortable of teaching rooms.
Brilliant idea, man.
Yeah, so here is our one of our main tutors, Peter Stewart, embarking on setting up a lesson for our excellent young student here, Gary Kerr. The acoustics of this particular teaching room are, seldom found globally. I think really the Cathedral of the Isles has some of the best acoustics you'll find for classical guitar. So.
One of the advantages, of course, with this kind of seating is one can express one's phrasing. We have the waltz or tango.